Welcome to another Wednesday weekly team prosperity meeting. We're going to get into a center of conversation. The topic of today's meeting is about LinkedIn as a marketing and a business asset. Right now, we have an incredible time right here, right now, over the next coming weeks to really put yourself in a position and your business in a position to capitalize, have some immediate impact on your business, but also springboard your business into the next year. So understand, capitalize on this moment for what it means right now, but also capitalize on the moment for what it means in the near future. You always have to think expansion. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not expanding, you're contracting. So you have to think about expansion in terms of, your mindset. Always, how do I move my business forward? How do I create a better client experience, a better partner experience? How do I become more efficient? But how do I grow bigger? How do I create distribution? And then on the backside of that, you also have to understand that, if you look at these numbers, these are the iPhones sold from 2007 to 2018. So once you have a velocity and then a hockey growth like explosion to your business, things really start to, expand and build out. You also have to understand that you are in a position where you are using online infrastructure to grow your business. Why do we do that? Because we can reach many more people with far less expenses. This kindergarten teacher has 88,000 kids. She can never fit 88,000 kids into a physical location. She is making more, she's reaching more kids, and she's having a bigger impact. We've got some stuff going on for you guys right now to try to make your business build out, better and, a little bit more fun. We have the 12-week year going on. We have a select group of participants going through that. And then we also have a football contest that started Monday and it ends November the 30th. Last week, you guys, we talked about being customer obsessed. Something interesting happens when you're customer obsessed. When you're obsessed, you're hungry, and that hunger is 24/7. You have the courage to get started. You have the courage to pick yourself up after falling down or failing, and you have the guts to stare fear directly in the face. So being customer obsessed allows you to come from a mission standpoint from your business, and once you get obsessed about helping people, the money starts to flow in. So what's happening this week? Like I said, we are covering LinkedIn as a marketing asset and a business asset for you rather than just an online profile and platform. Remember, the ultimate goal here on social media and online platforms is to create, new connections, create engagement from those connections, create general interest from those connections, and move the appropriate parties from online to offline so that we can have things like phone conversations. So remember, social media is a lot of things, and yes, you're building your brand, but if you're looking at lead generation, it's very, very simple. You're connecting, engaging, building general interest, taking those people offline so you can have a more, direct and meaningful conversation with them. If you're going to do that, this is very, very important. Going back to, the follow-up. If you're going to do everything that we ask you to do to create leads, you need to have an automated follow-up strategy that's mixed in with some personal touch. So the subtle art of following up with automation mixed in with the personal touch is what you need to do to make sure that the work you've done on the front side in creating leads isn't, something that's just going to just wash away with you having no type of follow-up strategy. So remember, as things fall through the cracks, as more things start to pile up and fall through the cracks, that's revenue, that's income, and that's growth that could have been coming into your business that's now lost. Doesn't matter. Really, the two big ones, LinkedIn and Facebook, you're doing the same thing. It's a little bit different of an approach and a little bit different of a platform in terms of why people are there, but you're building your brand, you're connecting, you're posting, you're having, introduction as well as follow-up messages, you're having interaction and engagement, there's groups that you can join. So this is the era of big data. So when you understand how easy it is to reach people, how easy it is to connect with people, all that you have to do is commit to actually doing it on a daily basis. 3-step process. Connect, engage, message. Connect, engage, message. And then once you message, like I said, you can pull the appropriate parties offline to have those phone conversations, but online, doing the same thing repetitively every single day. Why do we choose LinkedIn and why do we go with LinkedIn? Well, first of all, you have to understand that if your business model and your marketing model doesn't include LinkedIn, then it's not done. Which of the following social media channels generates leads for you? Well, you can see in this survey, LinkedIn crushed it. And then on the other side of that, what's the best thing for lead generation on this other survey? Well, when you look at Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn in this visit to lead conversion rate, you can see that, LinkedIn is a very valuable asset for you to have if you create your profile right, and if you create your brand right, and if you go out there on that platform and live it on a daily basis. Remember, LinkedIn also drives more traffic to, blogs, to sites. So 90% of that social traffic was driven by the 3 networks, with half of it coming from LinkedIn. And then the number of conversions per social media platform, look at that. LinkedIn has a great conversion factor. So once again, is LinkedIn worth putting time, energy, resources into? Most definitely. You need to also understand that, we're still humans. We're still building relationships. So as you see stuff pop up in LinkedIn, as people have new jobs or they have anniversaries to existing jobs, go out there and congratulate them. Open conversations, build relationships, let people know you actually care. Like we've talked about before, you're going to build interest in what you do by showing interest in other people. And then you're going to open more conversations that way. Whether or not that you choose to have automated message series in LinkedIn or do the manual messages, that's up to you. We have the app, and most of our communication goes through the app. I've tried to create a central hub for you guys, but you also have to realize that your LinkedIn messaging can be automated as well. There's linked helper, there's campaign levels, there's workflows. I have some existing tutorials on the YouTube channel that goes through this if you want to use it. But realistically, it's up to you. You can have automation on the LinkedIn site, or you can do the manual catch-up. When you look at LinkedIn, you have to understand that there's 9 billion content impressions on the LinkedIn feed weekly, and there's only 3 million users who share content weekly. Well, what does that mean to us? Lots of eyes, much less content. So even if you're not used to producing content, it's a learned skill. You can go out there and you can learn how to do this. You can practice, get better at it, but you have to understand that effort that you put into it. If you get good or great at this, LinkedIn is going to reward you by giving a lot of eyes to your content. So what do you really need to be successful on LinkedIn? It's like the chicken or the egg kind of scenario. Do you need followers or do you need content? Well, I believe that you can build a dynamic LinkedIn asset and with a lot of engagement, and which is going to equal a lot of followers if you just learn how to put out decent content. And once again, this is not something that you're going to be an expert at the very beginning, but if you put some hours into it, you learn, mimic other people that are doing it well, then the followers will come from the content. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a video has to be worth at least 1.8 million words. So understand that your content is important, and understand that as we move forward, most of the IP traffic online is going to be videos. So the more that you can get used to producing videos, posting videos, getting personal about yourself, the stuff that's probably uncomfortable for us to do, the better your reaction, engagement, and the more you can extract value out of what you're doing. If you don't know what to post, then you can always research. Just go to Google killer content ideas to post on social media, video content ideas to post on LinkedIn, content that gets engagement on social media. So understand, you have to go and understand what works and then implement it, try it for you. If it works, keep going back to it until it gets stale. If it doesn't work, go back and try something else. Remember, LinkedIn is still at a growth stage. So the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook has already reached like maturity. So they basically want you to pay for the visibility. LinkedIn is not quite there yet. So LinkedIn knows the more visibility they give their marketers, the more that they're going to use LinkedIn, which will promote LinkedIn as a platform. Once they reach scale, which Facebook already has, they'll decrease that organic visibility to sell more and more space. So you have a limited time right now to get out and make impressions on LinkedIn. and create, like I said, a marketing and a business asset for yourself. This is not going to last forever, so take advantage, because just like when Facebook reached scale, they started to charge for the real estate. Same thing will happen here with LinkedIn. Your content, different platforms have content that stay on different periods of time. Like Twitter is almost there and gone. However, LinkedIn, your content will stay on feeds for days or sometimes even weeks. Any person in your network that comments on your post, it'll show in their feeds, given their content, true viral effect by pushing it out. So you have to understand, if you're going to do something, put a little effort into it, and it's actually, getting a good acceptance and an engagement online, LinkedIn will let it sit there for a long period of time. So what does that really mean? Well, it means that you don't have to post on LinkedIn as much, but the quality of the posts need to be there. Posts still circulating weeks later, and that's important. Let's understand the algorithm for a little bit, because if you need those engagements and reactions, you need to understand, what's going to get LinkedIn to get more eyes on it versus what's going to have LinkedIn restrict it. So this is the algorithm right here, but what you basically need to understand, and I broke this down in a pretty easy to understand formula, is that LinkedIn wants your entire post to remain in-house, meaning that anything somebody needs to do, they shouldn't have to leave LinkedIn to get through your whole post. If you can get in-house, meaning everything's within the LinkedIn platform, and then you add on to that velocity in terms of the quickness of people reacting, engaging with that, that's basically what the algorithm is. If you keep it in-house and you get a velocity of reactions, they'll reward you for that. So remember, what's inside or outside? Well, it's pretty easy. Just think about it in terms of, would somebody have to leave the LinkedIn platform to go get the rest of your post, whatever it may be? Or are they able to stay on the platform for the entirety of the post? That's inside or outside. And then the quick engagements are likes, comments, shares, reactions to your post. The quicker and the more that you get those, the more the LinkedIn algorithm will reward that post and keep it in circulation. It's all about traction. So let's take a minute and just get back to basics, because one of the things that you have to understand is that your LinkedIn profile is not a resume anymore. It's a marketing and a business asset for you. So the first thing you want to make sure is that your profile is actually visible to the public. And in your account settings, go back there, visibility of your profile network. Make sure that your profile is visible. You want as many eyes on your profile as possible for business purposes. And then you need to turn your profile into a sales and marketing machine. So all that resume type information that looks old, outdated, and that you're like a W-2 employee, you want to get rid of that, and you want to turn it into a marketing and sales machine. That banner that you have is the most valuable real estate on LinkedIn. So you need to create a powerful headline that tells your prospects what's in it for me to connect with you. How are you going to help your prospect move away from their pain towards their pleasure? How are you going to help them solve their potential or perceived problems? And how are you going to help them get more prospects, recruit more team members, or close more sales? Depending on what your message is to the marketplace, this is why it's important on your persona and your connections to hone in on one type. Don't just connect with random people. The algorithm will get to know who you're looking for. And once again, it'll be easier for the algorithm to know what you're doing. And then your summary. You have to create a sizzling summary. On the back of your banner, this is your story in your summary section. But you got to make it relatable to your prospects' pain and your struggles. Let them know that you've been through what they're going through, and that, use that feel, felt, found method. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. And what I found was, or when I found this system, and then use emojis to bring some color to your copy, make certain things stand out. Add videos and images to every section possible. Remember, you are trying to get people into your profile, into general interest, and wanting more. So add videos and images when you can. Also, endorse your connections. One of the ways I do this is if I have like an introduction call or an education call with somebody, I'll go in immediately after that and type in a little message, hey, nice speaking with you today. Go in and endorse them for skills, especially if you have a next action step, because as you're endorsing them, it's coming through their feed. Mike endorsed you. Oh yeah, Mike sent me that stuff. I need to review it. And then also have a call to action. Remember, you need to be obsessed. We talk about this continuously with calls to action. What's the next action step? Do you want them to register, download a free guide, whatever it is? Make sure that you have a call to action in every section and you're instructing them on what to do. And then connect with influencers in your industry and then connect with their connections. That's one of the best ways to upgrade your network. Get with influencers, connect with their connections, and watch the network that you built, watch it get better and better and better. And when that happens as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, what that means is as you upgrade your network, you should have more and more deals coming through, more and more partners coming through, etc. You have to be able to also understand that maybe the groups in LinkedIn aren't the most active place, but one of the things that you can do in the groups is once you join, you don't have to be a first connection. If you share the group, you can go right in that group member section and you can start typing people messages, either to connect on a first basis or to just get right down to the point of what you're trying to do with them. And then also the group posts, they're going to last a while because they're not that active. So if you post something in there, it'll remain in there for a good amount of time as well. And then you need to get creative and think outside the box. As an entrepreneur, you're always thinking about your business, how to make it better. Just because it says so doesn't mean it must be so. So when you're looking at LinkedIn and how to stand out, different things that you can do, even the little stuff to stand out, anything that you can do to give yourself a competitive advantage, be seen above and beyond other profiles, you want to take action and make sure you do those things. The like, celebrate, love, insightful, curious, all those reactions are what you're looking for in your post. And like I said, the velocity of these reactions, how quickly we can get these going, the algorithm will reward you for that. An engagement is any measurable interaction. So the number of times a piece of content has been clicked, the total times that it's been shared, total number of likes, the total number of comments, the total number of new followers acquired via a piece of content, impressions, total engagement. You want to understand that what you're putting out, that it is well received. If it's not, it's okay. Just learn from it. Learn from what works. Also learn from what doesn't work. Content that does work on LinkedIn. People want to know you, your passions, your sense of humor, what makes you someone worth paying attention to. You have valuable stories to share with people. You know things, which is why you're doing the work that you're actually doing. Sharing your knowledge, your expertise, your experience on LinkedIn can help other people achieve their dreams. So what this means is you have to let people know who you are, and you have to open up. You have to be vulnerable sometimes, and that's tough for us. But the more that you are perceived as someone who's posting content that's getting to know you, exposing your weaks, your strengths, your day-to-day stuff, people want to get to know you. They're going to buy into you before they buy into what you're doing. Commit to both hosting and promoting your LinkedIn content. So treat LinkedIn as your main and unique platform. Take your LinkedIn status update, cross-promote it, cross-market it to other channels. The key is getting the URL in front of the right people to drive the engagement and tell the LinkedIn algorithm that your update is actually worthy of more eyeballs. They're not going to give you your content visibility if you're promoting something else or other networks. So that's pretty easy to understand. You need to build trust with the algorithm by creating content specifically for LinkedIn. It takes time and it takes repetition before you can do so. But if you are willing to commit to this, the algorithm will help you after a while. In your stories, in your posts, use hooks. Facts tell, stories sell. Engaging hook is a critical point to stop people from scrolling. On LinkedIn, you get 2 sentences to set the hook. A good hook will get, that critical initial engagement needed to set your content viral. Space out your text, continue reading, read more, all those things that will, encourage somebody to click and read more of your post. As far as the stories, the relatable lesson or the relatable story, the lesson learned, the thought provoker, the open-ended question, personal moment, controversial point of view, the giveaway, the ego bait, the hack. These are typical things that we see over and over and over again that work. If you don't know what some of these things are, ask us or look them up. We'll be glad to go over and tell you, anything that you need to know to help with your LinkedIn experience. So here's some helpful tips for LinkedIn. Number one, if you write text-only posts on LinkedIn, it's going to help. Not all the time, but remember, inside your profile, you want images and videos. But on the post, if you're writing a good amount of your post with text only, it's going to help you. Use emojis, color things up, stand out. Like your own LinkedIn posts, especially if they've been going around for a while, you want to recirculate it, go ahead and like it. Share and embed your LinkedIn posts. So what that means is drive traffic from outside the platform to LinkedIn. Comment on other people's posts, especially if you got value out of it, let somebody know. We're all trying to do the same thing. It's a great way, like I said, to build interest in what you do by showing interest in what other people do and letting them know, hey, this was a good post. I got value out of it. And then use LinkedIn native video. So that, once again, that's all about making sure they stay within the platform to be able to view the video. Tip number 7, encourage engagement in the first hour. Once again, if you ask people to do stuff, most of the time they'll help you out. Don't post too much. Remember, this isn't about posting continuously. This is about quality of post over X period of time. And then really no more than 3 hashtags per post. And then when you're tagging people, don't be that person that tags 30, 40, 50 people in a post. Only tag people when appropriate and sparingly. And then finally, use the follow first. Now, if you're new on LinkedIn, you don't have any connections, don't do this. But if you've got at least 3,000, 5,000 connections, you can use the follow first strategy. And that's in your settings. And you can ask for followers first. So if you're looking for content ideas, things like Reddit and Quora, there's always, people talking about hot button issues. Go there, do some research, figure out what are some hot button issues, translate that into a post for yourself on LinkedIn, and then publish longer LinkedIn posts to activate the see more feature. Once again, the hook leads to them wanting to see the rest of the post. They're clicking on that. That's a good sign. And then you have the carousel of photos. Like if you're at a convention or you're doing something, take some photos and make a carousel out of it. Once again, people want to know who you are, what you do, your passions, what's going on with you. Share valuable PDFs. Once again, in your post, you have the ability to post, text, pictures, videos, and also PDFs. If you've got something you've turned into a PDF, go ahead and post it. And then once again, one of the best pieces of advice is you have to play to the LinkedIn algorithm. Best time to post, don't just sit around waiting to post, but if you're looking for a guideline of when to post, usually between Tuesday, Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, between 8 and 2. Worst time to post for LinkedIn is going to be on the weekends or outside of business hours when people would typically not be on the platform. LinkedIn right now is dying to get you involved. So once you understand these, all these tactics that we've been going over, you may think it's just generating fluff. However, this is a critical part of the buying process. People don't do business with companies they don't know. With all the noise on the internet right now, it's harder and harder to break through without having to pay for it. So use this as an opportunity to create value in your market and spread your reach. While it may not result in direct sales, it's going to help your brand and overall marketing efforts. LinkedIn has a very smart algorithm. If you want to target digital marketers, then say, hey, digital marketers, look at this tips. Tell LinkedIn what you're trying to do so it understands. If you call out who you're trying to reach, LinkedIn actually sees that and they will boost your post to those people. You use certain keywords within the post and then you can use the hashtags. You don't need to have a big following to get a big following. And then if you've got teammates or people that you guys are working with, you can create engagement groups. So in the message center, you can create like an engagement group. And then as you guys are posting, drop it in that message. Other people in that message group can go in and try to give you some early engagement. If you guys, in teammates, if you guys have in your profile connected companies, then you can create teammates. And what that means is as a teammate post, you'll get alerted in your notifications. Once again, this is all about helping your teammates and them helping you get some reaction, some engagement. LinkedIn has a huge organic potential. We talked about it. It is the best in terms of generating warm leads, meaningful connections, or just plain engagement. Like we talked about, don't connect with random people. It's going to drag down your engagement rate. It's going to confuse the algorithm. Use LinkedIn search to find your true audience. Hashtags, first, secondary connections, those who work in relevant industries that would provide value and have an opportunity to create a lead for yourself. Then use certain keywords and hashtags to call out who you're trying to reach. We just talked about this. LinkedIn's going to boost your post to those people if you tell LinkedIn who you're trying to reach. Send a connection request. I send sometimes personal, sometimes not. This is up to you. And then focus on some video content. Create a mix of pre-recorded live video. Be relevant to your audience. Make them want more. And then connect with your audience through personal stories. Remember, stories are important. Getting to know you as a person is important. Tell a personal story. Share a struggle. Be personable. Share who you are. And then use that first and the second line of your post, like we talked about, to write a really engaging hook that will encourage people to want more. Always interact with engagement. Don't kill a conversation by saying, hey, great point, thanks for commenting, and see if you can keep it going. Use curated content to keep your audience engaged and ask for their opinion. Once again, if you want something, ask for it. And then prioritize quality over quantity. We talked about this as well. Create high quality and meaningful, intentional, strategic content. Don't have to post a lot, but when you do post, it should be high quality. And don't focus solely on creating the content. You need to focus on promotion to get good results. And that's really all I wanted to cover for this week. I wanted to make sure that you guys understand that if you're on LinkedIn or if you're not on LinkedIn, you need to be on LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn and not extracting the full value, go for it. If you're not on LinkedIn, it's a very important piece and a platform to be on as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a marketer, all the things, all those roles that we take on. LinkedIn is going to help you in a multitude of different ways, but you have to put the time, energy, resources, and effort behind to extract the kind of value that it potentially has for you.